Wildcard pattern matching. So we are given two strings, a text and a pattern. We have to return whether they are exactly equal or not. We're checking for entire strings, not any substring, not a subsequence. Entire string must match. Now inside the pattern, we have normal alphabets, plus we have two special characters, a question mark and an asterisk. Question mark means we can match this character with any character from the string, but it should only be one, right? One character of text can be matched with question mark. For asterisk, we can match any number of characters with this asterisk. We can match 0, we can match entire string also with this asterisk. So here we can see A is equal to A, question mark is equal to B, C equal to C, and DE are equated against asterisk. That is why we are returning true. In the next test case, B and A, they're starting off differently, so we are returning false. And in the third test case, the asterisk is equivalent to this entire ABC. That is why we are returning true. So there is no way of determining that, okay, this asterisk, this particular asterisk should be equated against two characters. There is no way of telling that beforehand, right? So basically greedy solution is not possible in this scenario. So we will have to check every possible thing. So we are going with DP. We have two scenarios. If the characters are equal, we are starting from the end. We have initialized two pointers, M and N. M represent the pointer for text and N is for pattern. If they are equal, the last characters, B and B, they are equal, or the special characters will only be present inside pattern. So if pattern of J is equal to question mark, that means we can move ahead, move left side, right? There is only one possibility. We have to move both our pointers, right? If they are equal or either pattern of J is question mark, we move both our pointers to the left side. If pattern of J is asterisk here, suppose it is asterisk here, so we can match this asterisk with this character and we can move ahead and we can keep asterisk as here it is, because you can see we match this asterisk with B. Now we are at A, it is asterisk again, so we can still match this A with asterisk. That is why we only move with the M pointer, but we can also match our asterisk with no characters, right? With 0 characters. So we can also do something like we keep our M pointer here and we move the asterisk pointer to A, saying that we don't want to match asterisk with any characters. So these are two possibilities which are called in case of there is an asterisk. Now here we are returning true and false, right? So we can initialize our DP vector with boolean, but it is not possible because you can see we need three things. We need a state to represent false, we need a state to represent true, but we also need a state to represent whether this particular value is calculated in our DP array or not, right? So if we initialize with just boolean, we will get confused whether the value is yet left to be calculated or is it just false. So we will initialize with int and we will use -1, 0 and 1. Talking about the base cases, if both the pointers are below the 0, which means the entire strings have been matched, so we can return true in this case. If the I pointer is greater than equal to 0, which means some characters are left to match and J is already finished, pattern is already finished, we have to return false. In case all the characters of the text are matched but pattern is still remaining, here we can have a solution. That is, if all the remaining characters of pattern are asterisk, then we can return true. Otherwise, we can return false. So here are the exact, let's start from here. We have initializes the DP vector, right, with integer, and we have called from the backwards. These are all the base cases that I talked about. This is the loop to check whether the remaining characters are asterisk or not. If the value already exists, return from the table. If the pattern of j they are equal, or if the pattern is question mark, we have to move both the pointers down. Otherwise, if it is asterisk, then we can either move I pointer or we can either move j pointer. If none of the conditions are true, that basically means that pattern of j is not equal to text of I. In that case, we return this false.